Hi everyone, this is Norman Kochnick here for Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochnick. This is in fact day 2 of the series between day two of test 1, as in the first test at the GABBA, between Australia and England. In fact, it's the Ashes, as you would probably have seen the first day's play. England were all out for 147, I'll stand corrected. There was certainly a lot to say about the way that England didn't capitulate. They certainly struggled throughout the day, and it's certainly something of a situation where Australia have been in amongst issues with their team, as we know. But I think you'll find that they've come together quite well. Pat Cummins seems to be rising to the occasion. You've got to give him that. You've got to give him that credit. He's maybe not a natural captain, but he certainly hasn't done badly at all. And I think so far so good. Now it's excruciatingly early in the scheme of things, and we can't underplay that fact that he really is a long way from having proven anything. But a good start, taking a 5 on his first day as Test captain. It's a bit like a century for someone like Steve Waugh, which is quite a remarkable start for anyone to have happen. So, look, there's no doubt this match will be. It's underway. Well, I'm on a bit kind of early, because the match is actually starting. I think it's about half an hour earlier, which is only about a 19 minutes way of play. So that's why I'm on a bit earlier. So those the view that are wondering what is going on, the game starts at 9:30, and it's not really a situation where Australia is expecting to have it all their own way, because there will be an element of you would have to think there'll be an element of bowling that will suit the conditions will suit this team. So that is England, and they haven't got Broad and Anderson. Yes, I'm not denying that Broad and Anderson are not there, but I think that they've got a lot of other very positive things that they look forward to using, with Ali Robinson, Mark Wood, and Chris Wokes, all very capable bowlers that have been entrusted with a fairly substantial responsibility to fill the mantle of a Broad Anderson opening bowling ship. So Virendra Thari, good morning. How are you? So we're about, I think we're roughly, we're not all that far from the start, guys. So we'll see how we go with that. It's a pretty good situation for obviously the way that this is all going to go about its business. So we're going to start. We're going to start this whole program very shortly. We can engage people to watch with anticipation, of course, that we've got a magnificent start here. There's a concept of starting with a bang. Certainly did it with what Mitchell started yesterday. First ball, Rory Burns shuffled across. His foot were all over the place. Normally the ball would go down leg side, but in fact it hit his leg stump and he was out. Comprehensively bowled. It's all right. We don't want to have. Don't know how that's happened, but I've got myself on Winnie's page. All right, so we're not far away from the start. We'll be talking with her very shortly. I don't know why the labelling hasn't taken. So it's far from a beautiful sunshine outside, both here in Sydney and in on the GABBA. So that's a great start for Australia batting wise. Will feel like day one to them in some ways, in terms of their ability, to bat. And Warner, really, Warner should be in his element today. You would think. You would think he would be in his element, wouldn't you? You would think. I mean, there's a lot to be said about the Australian batting lineup in general. I mean, Labuschagne, Smith, and Warner have been I haven't played Test cricket for almost 11 months now. Warner 100 today. I think the good chance of Warner scoring 100. Day 2 Australia bats. Okay. So, what do you think, guys? Good morning, Kushi. Very early in India. It's my God, what time is in India? It's 4:45 or thereabouts. It's early morning for me too. Didn't give any warning as to this show was being on, but it was some 15 minutes away. It came out as a very good day indeed yesterday for Australia. Very impressive indeed was Pat Cummins. Pat Cummins has to be. He put himself on very early. He put himself on the bowl in the 5th over. He let both Hazel and Stark bowl the first 2. The wicket fell the first ball, as we know. Look at the scorecard there. First wicket fell. There were 2 wickets fell before Cummins came on the bowl. 2 wickets fell. Milan fell on the 4th over. And then Joe Root fell on the 6th over. And that's quite incredible when you think of it. Joe Root fell so quickly as well. And they were, within 6 overs, they were 3 wickets down. Quite incredible start. Very, very impressive start indeed, you have to say. We're only a matter of some 14 minutes away from the start of play. Pat Cummins is certainly ringing everybody's tune at the moment. But Hazelwood bowled very well. Stark started very, very well. I'm not going to say that he bowled the best out of the bowlers, because he didn't. He bowled well. There's no doubt that he bowled well. But what do you think of the England batting side? They're saying here, there's a comment from Graham Swan that honestly our top 6 wouldn't get in most county sides 10 years ago. That's a pretty heavy comment. Joe Root certainly would. Butler, is he top 6? Well, probably just should be in the top 6. Best, so if he was playing, would also be there. Something that, I mean, he's a little bit raw, but he looked pretty solid. Rory Burns' technique was terrible with that first delivery. Milan's got a lot of promise. Green captures his first wicket for Australia. That was, it was a big deal. I think, that was it. Let's just have a look what he. Cameron Green is, in fact, he's 22 years of age. He's played 4 Test matches. This is his 5th. And he's 5th. So, that's, you would say finally. It's taken a fair while for him to. It's impressive though. Then of course, Pat Cummins' stats have been fantastic. Really, I'm just putting up on the community page now. Pat Cummins, Test captaincy, number 1, takes a fifer, bowls the best. The weather conditions at the moment are sunny. Sunny and bright, no issues with the weather, at least for the start. We'll have to wait and see whether that. But it's going to typically be a subtropical area like Queensland. Brisbane area is subtropical, effectively. generally you have a fair degree of sunshine for 2 sessions, then they have a downpour, a heavy downpour, 3, 4 p.m., not unlike Sri Lanka. You know, and that with that downpour, the chances of getting the rest of the day is iffy. So Pat Cummins had 3 maidens, 38 runs off his bowl. So 13 overs, 3 maidens, 5 for 38. Led the bowling attack admirably. He would argue his style of captaincy will be to show what he can do by way of his deliveries, and that's clearly what he's going to be doing. So, you know, that's a pretty impressive sign. So the weather conditions are very, very good. And it's clearly going to be a good day. Well, at least the first 2 sessions, which is enough for Australia to, it's certainly going to be the right time for them to, you know. So, with Warner, certainly Warner, this will be his favourite, and Smith and Labuschagne will be favoured by this morning session. They're going to want to take early charge of this, and I think they will. But I predicted 220 yesterday. Why did I predict Australia get 220? We hadn't seen Australia bat. These conditions were bowler friendly. Overcast, gloomy, wet. I think the pitch will certainly start pretty much in favour of the bowler, but if the sun stays out for long enough, then we might see it dry up sufficiently in Australia get more and more in a situation of that. So the odds are Australia $1.17, England $11. It's not setting a very good tone for this. Yeah, so it's not a great start there for the pundits. They're not going to be very happy with that. But we've had a good day. I mean, we did lose virtually a session yesterday, but we still had a team all out for 147. And that happens every day. The match is over in 4 days, so it really is not an issue. I think we'll probably see some 9 minutes to spare here. Australia will go about it. So England added for 50.1 overs, which is interesting. It's like a 50-over match almost. Ollie Robinson will be the key bowler for your thoughts. Yeah, Ollie Robinson certainly will be one of the key bowlers. He can bowl not unlike a Hazelwood, or even somewhat like an Anderson, so he could be very vital. Mark Wood's pace, as long as he knows how to use that pace and make sure he doesn't bowl too short, because he'd be tempted to, because the ball's going to be bouncing even if the ball's full. So they're 2 key bowlers. And Chris Wokes is a very experienced bowler and a very good bowler of conditions not unlike yesterday. So those 3 will come into their own. Leach, admirable, but not going to be that effective today. But I think Ben Stokes can have a large influence as well. And clearly not having the likes of Anderson and Broad will certainly, you know, give them some sort of a negative. But those 2 are up their sleeve for the 2nd, 3rd test in particular, where they'll be needed, and maybe the 5th. That's where I think those 2 bowlers will come into play. You might see them have a break at Sydney. I'm not sure, but I would have thought they would be, you know, certainly use the 2nd and 3rd matches. Had good numbers, guys. We've had close to 3 million watched the shows over the year. The match starts on time. As far as I'm aware, it's starting in 7 minutes' time. 10:30 here in Sydney, 9:30 in 9:30, of course, in Brisbane. I just need to make sure we try and get David Gravely on board. He'd be waking up. I'm sorry, going to bed, in fact. Let's see where he is. Invite a guest. Copy. Just see whether I can get an email out to him. At this stage, you know, we've only a handful of minutes to go. And we've got There we go. So I just sent that to David. We'll see whether some of these other guys are going to. Probably the England supporters aren't as keen to come on as you might think. So Richard Vernon there. There's the other villain, let's call them. And then we got Chris. Some of my regulars there, they've got to work their circumstances in their life. Yeah, we'll see how we go. Okay, so we've got no more than 5 minutes to go as far as I'm aware. Let's just see. Shane Warner's there carrying on like a pork chop. Alex Carey had a very sound day. So he took 3 catches and they were quite admirable catching. There's nothing too untoward about them, and that's what I guess his job is to do. So, yeah, Cameron Green was born in 1999, June 3rd. Oh, my God. He's young. He was still playing cricket. And so Chris Wokes has also been on radio. We're okay. This is what Chris Wokes has said. We're okay. We obviously have liked that the first day have gone better than we did, but Australia bowled well and put us under pressure. Sometimes you have to say fair play to the opposition, but we've got a chance to go out and hopefully do something similar with the ball now. I don't know. Obviously, there's a bit of grass in the wicket, but generally at the go. So really, so Pat Cummins on the ABC said, I slept pretty soundly, got a good 9 hours in. He says, great start, everything we could have hoped for, really. So only day one, but we couldn't have asked for more. Absolutely, round the legs. No, not at all, but we've got, so basically it's talking about the planned bowling of, obviously, Burns was not planned. But it turned out pretty well for them, I tell you. They'll be very happy with that. So we should be only 4 minutes away from play starting if they kept to their word. They said that they'll start at 9:30, which is 10:30 here in Sydney, an hour behind. So that's effectively 4 minutes away, 3 minutes away now. Your take on Indian squad for South African tour? Well, they look pretty good. I mean, you have to take Vihari batted particularly well in that match for India. South Africa, well, I hate to say it seems more like this is an unofficial test. It's either a test or it's not a test. There's nothing unofficial about it. Realistically, India have batted soundly. South Africa don't look too bad either, but you know, Ishan Kishan is pressing for some time. So is Vihari, who will be staying there, of course, because South Africa will be playing against India as of December 26th, which is only 17 days away. The Indian squad was announced, as a matter of fact, too, as far as I'm aware. I think I do have that. Well, yeah, the ground, the conditions look bright and sunny there, by the way. It's just, there's not a cloud in the sky at the moment. We're about to go onto the field. Bright sunshine. England about to go out to... Look, this is Dave Warner heaven, really. If David Warner had batted yesterday, he would have been struggling. He would have lost his wicket early, more than likely. But today, with the conditions the way they are, he looks like he's going to go out there and take them. And he's ready on the field now. 2 left-handers, Warner and Harris. Harris has deserved his chance, yes. But Usman Khawaja is sitting there waiting to get into the side. And conditions suit the batsmen. Really, they got the opportunity to cement their positions, all of the batters. Today they should be capable of scoring a 300-plus score. But I have this sick feeling that it's going to be 220. The only reason why I said that was because the weather was so poor yesterday, and I thought it would keep up throughout the test. But day 2, it's bright and sunny here on a Thursday, the 9th of December. And clearly, that's going to, it's like a day 1 to Warner. Warner's going to love this. It is certainly, there's no doubt about the fact that it's, very, very important first hour. Warner, Harris are the openers, of course. They look like they got the mug. They got Warner with his DSC bat. He no longer uses Spartan. No longer uses Gray Nichols as well. or was it Kookaburra? I can't even remember now which one he had before. I think it was Barnacle. So his test career, his age is 35, so no longer a kid. 87 test matches. So he's been around for quite a while now. Marcus Harris is age 29, probably a good age. He's had 11 test matches, not 20 as some people have quoted. 428 runs. He's scored 250s, yet to score a century. And he pipped a person like Usman Khawaja, who scored 8 centuries in 44 matches. So, I don't quite understand why Khawaja's not on the side. And then you've got Chris Wokes, who's actually going to open the bowling. Interesting. Age 32, matches 40, because 119. So Chris Wokes will bowl the opening over with the likes of Robinson probably at the other end. And obviously Mark Wood will probably come on first change, as did Pat Cummins, and he took 5 wickets. Mark Wood's is very significant here. So this is a really big start here for Australia. Australia would be chomping at the bit, having only got 147 to chase down. Warner's facing, and he will probably, not unlike what happened with Rory Burns, he got bowled first ball by Stark. I'm predicting that Warner will probably hit Wokes for a 4 from the first ball. Let's see. He's taken a single very handsomely. And hit him in the back. So Ben Stokes has hit Warner in the back. First ball. And Warner's apologising. Okay. Chris Wokes quite ambled there, and Warner just popped it to the ground. And Warner's very apologetic. I don't know why, he did nothing wrong. So Warner off the mark from ball 1. Not the 4 that I expected, but still. Oz will go 1 up going into Adelaide. I think they will. First out, very important. Australia get off to a flyer at 50 or 80 runs without loss of wicket. We're in for a big day for Australia and a very long day for England. Marcus Harris on strike against a rather, I hate to say it, mediocre pace for Chris Wokes, and perhaps that's not the right person. I would have liked to have seen Robinson bowl the first ball, or even Wood come out and bowl the first ball, but they're not doing that. Chris Wokes, who's a very good bowler, getting a fair bit of bounce there without doing too much. Harris, a very short man, had to play that round here in his underarm, under his armpit. Ooh, that was certainly tennis ball bounce like that second ball. Now, if you're really truly attacking, you should have a silly bit on in place straight away for Harris, and even that man, perhaps Warner, because they're both very short men, and if they get a good short ball and they can't play it, they're gonna pop it. Harris playing quite resolutely there, defensively. Looks a little bit nervous, understandably so. Only Wood is a serious pace in England up. True. I think England don't anticipate that when the match in Australia. You need serious pace fast. Yeah, they would drop for Archer. Would have been perfect. I would have opened with Archer and bloody Wood. No, they didn't do that. Wokes he's not playing a county match out in Durham or something. This is a test match at the Gabba, so he's not the pace. And Harris immediately puts it through the covers for what looks like 2 runs. No concerns at all of this bowling. The opening over is telling the tale of an Australian big score, I'm afraid. Unless Robinson can move the ball around, the ball's not doing too much already. It's just there nicely. It's batting perfection, the conditions. The weather is sunshine, clear sky. At least we're going to have 2 sessions of clear sky. We may get rain late, but we're going to have I predict Australia will be ahead. Australia will actually be ahead of England before the second session's over. That's my prediction. It's looking very, very much in Australia's favour. Warner's on 1. Harris has got himself 2. The first over's up for 3. I mean, Stark did go for 6 off his first over, but let's not forget that he took the first ball wicket of Rory Burns, and at the moment that hasn't happened. There's been nothing to worry the Australian batsman at all in this first over. Much fuller ball and just squeezed away for another single. again, fairly controllable bowling at the moment. Nothing to get too excited about as far as threatening the batsman at all. Chris Woakes is not going to threaten the batsman for the first over. No way on earth. Hello, Brian.
Hi, Norman. Good morning. How are you?
Very well. Australia, my God, they're going to, the first over 4 runs, it looks too easy out there. Can you see it? Are you watching?
Yesterday was a very, very happy day for the Australians. All my
Absolutely.
friends were really happy and messaging and
Yeah, and look, they've got bright sunshine today. Chris Woakes is opening a bowling innocuous, slow pace, and Warner and Harris don't even look like they're in the training park. It's too easy for them to start with here. This is a little bit concerning for me. Now we're going to see Ollie Robinson. This will be somewhat of a big test because Ollie Robinson, to me, has something about him that he can bowl well enough. But both Chris Woakes and Ollie Robinson just aren't fast enough, are they?
yeah, for this pitch is like sheer pace is what you require to,
Yeah, Mark Wood. I think they should have opened with Mark Wood, but they didn't. Have you got vision?
Pardon?
Can you see the game?
No, I just switched it off. If I see.
Okay. Yeah. Oh well, Ollie Robinson's just bowled a corker of a first delivery. Great length, very Hazelwood-like. Ollie Robinson can really put a stamp on this. If Ollie Robinson can get a few wickets today and do it well, this is a great. That ball moved away appreciably. Beautiful line of length. And Harris was nowhere near the ball. Absolutely nowhere near the ball. I'm going to be on for the full session today. I'm going to watch the whole session live.
Okay. Did you see that Queensland police tweet? Was that actually from the Queensland police or just like
that was a joke?
A joke by the Queensland police.
I think that was, yeah.
Okay.
Can you send it to me? Have you got it there? Or did you send it to me?
Okay, I think I sent it to you.
Did you?
Yeah.
I was going to get access to my phone at the moment. Ollie Robinson coming in to bowl the second or third delivery, in fact. And albeit Robinson's more of a quality bowler, pace is just not there. But Ollie Robinson's job is to do what Hazelwood did yesterday and bowl good line of length, put enormous pressure on the batters, and he may pick up an early wicket. That's his forte. We'll wait and see. Ollie Robinson, great choice. I think he would have always been in the team, even if Anderson and Broad were there. Woakes to me.
He was on even in England against India. He did well. Took 1 5-wicket all, if I'm not wrong.
Another good delivery. He's gone straight through the bat. Ollie Robinson's going to love Australia. He's got the right line of length. He seems to me to be perfectly. He's tailor-made for this. But Chris Woakes is also a good steady bowler, but he's just that they're going to bring Mark Wood on. Like they brought Cummins on after 5 overs. By that stage, Australia had 2 wickets. We're now into the second over. No sign of a wicket. Not a good start. Weather's perfect for batting. Clear sunshine. Started not a cloud in the sky.
But yesterday, Norman, see all the deliveries, all the England wickets, they were really actually good deliveries, except for the Rory Burns one. Yeah, the delivery was good, but I think he overplayed or the way he walked across. Like I never seen a batsman who walks across and the ball hits his stump. So it did swing. The Shane Warne's commentary was also a little funny part on that. It was like adding. Did you hear Shane Warne's commentary on that?
Yes.
So he's saying, "Oh, it did not swing," and they walk. And when they show the swing, it actually did swing considerably. So other than that,
if it had gone with a line of the delivery, it would have went down leg stump, past leg stump. All right, so that was I think that was a. Oh, I'm not wrong. It was just that was a maiden. Very good over from Ollie Robinson. Good line and length. If he keeps that going, he'll pressure him.
Mm-hmm.
He beat Harris's bat twice. Yes. We are in a situation here where Ollie Robinson's got to stand up to the plate. Mark Wood does too. Jack Leach will be ineffective, I'm afraid. Then there's always Ben Stokes too. He's a player that'll be of some note.
Yesterday, Nathan Lyon also did not look any kind of threat. So I don't think GABBA is a place for spinners. But Nathan Lyon previously, even before the Indian series, but he has done well at GABBA, right?
Yeah, he has. That ball, the first ball of Wokes' third over, absolutely jagged away. He got it right on the seam and it actually hit the pitch and really jagged away. There was a fair bit of movement there for that delivery. And Warner, he's hit a quick single. He hasn't faced too many balls, but Australia mentally are brimming with confidence. They've got a team out for 147. They've got no rush when they bat. It's going to be a
brimming with confidence. And it one way it was good that yesterday they did not come out to bat because the conditions were highly unfavorable. So good. That's good signs in a way, you can say.
Well, yeah, they would have thanked God they were not going out to bat yesterday. You're right. Perfect start this morning. Perfect weather. Warner gets a fairly easy ball on the leg stump and just pushes it away. We know when Warner's in form that he hits fours early, and he hasn't hit one yet. He's been very steady. Well, literally by this stage yesterday, England were already 2 down. We're very close to 2 down.
They were 4 down by the 15th over. In the first 1 hour, they lost 4 wickets. And that too, including Root and Stokes. That's what I found. That was a more surprising fact.
Oh, but you can't blame Root or Stokes. They came in way too early. And the conditions were certainly in favour of bowlers. So, you know, I haven't got any concerns about the fact that they went out there. All right. Warner and Harris. Harris looks completely untroubled. He's beaten by a couple of balls, but in general, looks very much untroubled. They're bowling good line and length, both Wokes and Robinson, but it's not worrying them at all at the moment.
If a wicket falls, then only it will come.
Do you think Indian fans are more in England's favour or Australia's favour? Do you think Indians favour England more or Australia more?
I would say it depends on the fan itself. I don't say it's general. Like some fans like prefer England, some fans prefer Australia. So it depends on that.
But when Australia play England, then who do they favour?
Yeah, I'm saying it's a split. Really, you can't say. Some would definitely play. Maybe they look at where their fans are. Like some people who like Root, they would support for players. Like some who like Anderson, they would support for England. Some who like Pat Cummins would support Australia. I would say a majority would definitely be supporting Australia, considering Warner being there. So whole of Hyderabad or Andhra Pradesh would be supporting Australia.
Yeah.
So it depends on where and also it depends on where like a lot of Indians have their relatives in some have in Australia, some have in UK. So that also is a factor that works somehow.
That's true.
I
do like that. Sorry.
I'm saying yesterday, did you see the Bangladesh-Pakistan match? It was a down to the wire match.
Well, Pakistan did a job on Bangladesh, didn't
they? Yeah. I felt more like Bangladesh was playing to lose than playing to win.
Yeah, it's a funny way that they play. They were quite defeatist with the way they played.
In a match where you have to just play out, how can you have 2 runouts, 1 in each innings, and they both are like ribbons, as if runs was something they wanted to go for.
There is not a a single cloud in the sky today. Not a single cloud. Quite incredible.
Later on, there might be.
Oh yeah, later on there's a good chance we'll get the storm, but we'll get 2 good sessions in today. And realistically, Australia should be close to 200 after 2 sessions, the way the wicket looks.
Yeah, Virendra has very nicely summarized it. Park win 1-day test. That's really true.
I've got the Adelaide test coming up next week, which I'm going to be there for. And then there's the Melbourne on Boxing Day, which is a great event.
How will you go to Adelaide by car?
Sorry?
How will you go to Adelaide by car?
No flight.
Okay.
It's too far to drive. It's about, oh my God, it's about 2,500 kilometres from here.
India match from Sydney to Adelaide.
No, it's about 2,500 kilometres to Adelaide. A little bit too far to be driving on a red leisurely day. It'll take well over a day to get there. Well, maybe not that far. It is far. I mean, the flight takes 2 hours, so an hour, well over, close to 2 hours, if not, in fact, more than that. Maybe 2.5.
You guys, if I remember, 14, 15 hours in all driving.
Where?
Sydney to Adelaide.
Yeah. It'd be at least that. And you wouldn't do that in one hit, would you?
No,
you wouldn't do that one day. Warner and Harris are very, very steady at the moment. They look like they want to dig in. Although I would have thought Warner, when he's at his best, is usually flourishing 4s.
Maybe just waiting to get
the ball down the ground there for a single. Ollie Robinson seems to be the goods. He could be threatening, but he needs to do it quickly, because if these two get in, then you got Labuschagne and Steve Smith, who would love this ground. It looks like a pretty potent Australian batting lineup if they get going.
Why didn't they pick Khwaja, Norman? Like, or they are planning for some other grounds for Khwaja?
They made it pretty clear that they picked the side about a month to 2 months ago. They were that clear. They said Travis Head was always in the side, which I find remarkable. I don't think he totally gets along with Jason Langer and the rest of the team. I don't think he's exactly their favourite team player. And they regard that highly. And they talked up Travis Head enormously. Way too much, really. And Travis Head was not a foregone conclusion to play. He hadn't played that well. Oh, that was a good ball. Ball beating Harris. Harris has been beaten 3 or 4 times here, but without any wicket falling. The thing is, I don't think Khwaja fits well onto the side because of Langer and to an extent some of the other players. But really, Khwaja will come back. I mean, Khwaja's, if he came back in, he'd be the third most experienced batsman behind Warner and Smith. Deservedly should be there. They're showing the dismissals of Harris at the moment, and almost all of the wickets that fell were Broad, bowling around the wicket. Interesting. Harris fell a number of times from Broad bowling around the wicket. Well, why aren't Wokes or Ollie Robinson bowling around the wicket doing the same thing? Isn't that obvious?
Why is not Broad playing? That's another question.
Well, that's probably a better question.
You have the same bowler, the same batsman.
Warner's just driven a ball for 4 through mid off. A rather half shot was more of a punch off Wokes. Warner's looks deadly serious. That was almost too easy. He didn't even move. He just took 1 step and went bang. Very steady shot.
Good, Norman. I'll make a move.
All right. Talk to you later. Come in later.
Sure. Take care. Bye, Norman.
Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Well, at this early stage, Australia 9 for 10 and look like they're in command. Warner's deadly serious with his batting. He's not batting with any great flurry at the moment, but that drive was a very menacing off drive. But it was a punch, really. It was just a punch. He just played through the line and held his line, and the ball rocketed to the boundary. This ground is lightning fast. Warner's very disciplined at the moment. Indeed, he's disciplined. There's certainly a fair degree of certainty about the way the Australians are batting at the moment. A shorter ball here from Wokes. And to someone like Warner, that's not a problem because he's short anyway. Wokes is extracting a fair bit of bounce. It's a good ball. But Warner's acknowledging the delivery. And she wasn't as low as you might think. He could have stood up to that. Especially he's got no silly bit on or silly. He's in no danger of popping the ball up. Warner's very deliberate, very methodical, very purposeful with his batting so far. Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing flash, no cross bats, no wild shots, which he can play on occasions. He usually gets away with it too. So we've got a lot of time to see this. Oops, the ball got tucked up there. Warner got tucked up there. The best way to Pakistan will win the one-day test. First test, you mean. And Chris Wokes is bowling quite well. It can't. Almost all of his movements are forward there from Warner. Ollie Robinson bowling to Harris. We're already into the 6th over. Again, by this stage, England were, what were they? They were at least 2 down, possibly even 3. Let's have a look here. Yeah, let's have a look what the comparative score was. Yeah, England were, after some 6 overs, they were 3 for 11. Oh, we've got Ollie Robinson's just taken the wicket of Harris. He's edged. Also, Ollie Robinson was bowling well, and Harris has gone in the 5th over. So that's an important wicket-taking moment. Ollie Robinson, who has proved that he's bowling well, he's beat Harris a few times with the bat. The ball's there has gone to what looks like 2nd slip. There's actually 3rd slip, low down catch, taken quite comfortably. So Harris is out for 3. Caught Milan, bowled Robinson for 3. Where's Usman Khawaja? Usman Khawaja. No, Marlon Labuschagn's coming in the bat. He hasn't been in great form in his state level, as far as I'm aware. We had a bit of a pro there. They've got the Richie Benos, a bunch of idiots, to be honest with you. Anyway, the Richie Beno thing is a bit tired of that, really. It's not as funny as we first think. With Labuschagne coming out to play now. perfect sunshine. He averages 60, which is remarkable. But he's due for some failures. I'm afraid all batsmen have periods of slump. And I think it's around the corner for Labuschagne. I just don't know why I'm saying that, but I feel that. Labuschagne's 27 years of age, but he's had 19 tests, 1,885 runs, 5 centuries. Batting average of 60, best 215. So pretty good. It's exceptional for 19 tests. But Ollie Robinson, there you go. Nice start from Ollie Robinson. Yeah, he's bowling an excellent length is the comments I'm seeing here. So this will be interesting. Warner's been very, very circumspect. The conditions are really there for batting and batting well and long. They get through this first hour or so, they'll score big, but they can't. The ball's nipping around a little bit. It was a nice length from Robinson's a class bowler. Here we have our first right-hand batter coming in for Australia with Harrison Warner, of course, left-handers. He's let the ball go, which is typical of a man who plays at the GABBA. He knows the height of the ball. If one just slid through, it's sufficiently moved away, that little bit of movement. Milan took a very good catch. It was kind of off. It wasn't off the full edge. It was off the front of the bat. It wasn't off the full edge of the bat. He just dabbed at it. And then he did have 3 slips. A very full ball from Robinson. He's definitely bowling full. Abhishek Agrawal, you're saying, was it right for England at first? Yes, it was. Under normal circumstances, Australia would have done the same thing, which they didn't get an opportunity to do so. But look, England bowls well today. They could restrict. I'm still thinking Australia could be around 220 all out. The weather tells me that it won't happen that way, but I still think that good, sound England bowling from Wokes, Robinson, and Wood has to step up. So he has to take a fifer. Oh, I don't like this leaving technique of Aboriginal. He played this cross bat swash leave, and it was just weird. I don't get what that's all about at all. He's watching Smith too much. Love annoys me. Some of the things that Labuschagne does, to be honest. One of those days, he's going to play this stupid leave and he's going to collect the ball and it'll hit his stumps. So Australia 1 for 10. That was kind of not what I expected. I thought they were going to bat on that, but good genuine nick. Ooh, he's letting the ball go. And Robinson's having a good old word there. He's having a good word. The ball is just pitching. He's letting the ball go virtually off stump. Broad has damaged the opening batsman of Australia too often. No one's gone around the wicket to Warner. Warner was out repetitively to Broad, and I think that aggression from Broad's needed. I think Mark Wood needs to come around the wicket to actual Warner and really get in amongst him. They need to really be on the front foot. Mark Wood's finally coming on after 6 overs. He's bowling the 7th over, whereas Cummins came on the 5th. So it's pretty similar. Pretty simple start. This could be crucial. I think Mark Wood, as I predicted, is going around the wicket to Warner. And appreciably more pace in that delivery. It was around 145. I think that was quite pacey. Bukowski certainly can have it, but he's mentally and is mentally not fit and physically not fit. Well, he's dabbed it to the offside and has gone for a single. I think he's pretty happy to be off the strike, to be honest. Mark Wood looks pretty pacey. Mark Wood's got to come out of his skin here and bowl his heart out. There were positive cases of COVID-19 in the Sri Lankan and Bangladesh women's teams, both teams. Sri Lanka had 6 or 7, Bangladesh had a few. Now it's in the men's rugby league that our Deputy Prime Minister here in Australia, Barnaby Joyce, has got as well. So it's still floating around. Although with a double jab and boosters, you should be okay. My mother has finally had her 2 jabs as well at the age of 90. 90. So Woods, is it Wood still or is Wood? I should throw a nice short ball in there. I was saying, just jumping around there a little bit. So many Richie Benos in the stand. Yeah. Bit over it. I find that the novelty of that's worn off now. Move on. It's no longer got the same immediacy, funny ways. I'm over it, to be honest. Really over this Richie Benaud. I respect, I love Richie Benaud, but this Richie Benaud is, okay, it was great while it lasted. Move on, guys. Move on, Richie Benaud. Get some other concept, would you? You can't, what are you going to drag that out for the next 50 years? It's going to wear very thin. It's only giving a guy like Michael Hennessy who runs a bit of a glorified approach that can be self-important and travel with his little troop. And they try to combine them. It's not quite what it was. Novelty's worn off, guys. Stop it. So 1 for 11 Australia up into the 7th over, the last ball, the 7th over. Good line length, and he's bowling around the 150 mark there. That was 150 clicks, 150 kilometres per hour there from Wood. He's certainly bowling with some heat, and that's what we want him to do. The Barmy Army and the England crowd always reinvent themselves. They always have interesting current songs and muck around. A bit of class compared to the best winners, Richie Benaud. You know, seeing England Ultras, that was one cricket player. Maybe for an inaugural test or your last test, something, maybe not every single test match. 147, 148, 148, 149, and the 148 again. A lot of heat in the last ball, 148. So right up in the late 140s, up close to 150. Well, it's not about Warner and Khawaja not the future. Well, maybe not, but they still should be the best players as we speak. Yeah, it is that we have got a lack of depth in our batting. I'm telling you, Jason Sanger, someone I thought which would be coming through, hasn't quite got there, but he's the next level. Curtis Pattinson's another one who's up there. But we haven't got a lot of depth. It's true. But Khawaja, 44 test matches, 8 centuries. He deserves to be in the squad. Ollie Robinson only played 6 test matches. He's already got 29 test wickets. Ooh, it wasn't a bad effort for a run out there. Yeah, as viewers wake up, we'll get more of the coverage. This is good ball by AUST. I hope you're enjoying this. I'm trying to give you very good throw by Wokes. It missed. If it had been an accurate throw, would he have been out? Oh, look, I can't even see the batters coming through. He's just gotten through. You have to groom one younger opening batsman along with an experienced one, Warner Quater. So, yeah, perhaps. Labuschagne's squeezed the ball through the slips for 4. Not a convincing shot by any means. Robinson's giving a bit of stick to Labuschagne. I like it. I like it. Wasn't a splendid shot. It was squeezed off the stumps through slips. Was there an edge there? Yeah, it was the edge of the bat, but he squeezed it through. Yeah, oh, definitely off the edge. Robinson having given a good old stare. I like that. I like Robinson's attitude. And Robinson's giving him a nice old stare. There's a bit of banter going on. I like this. Oh, I can't stand the way that Labuschagne swats like a sword and lets it go. It's just awful. The ball does something. He's going to, I don't know what's going on there. Robinson, Labuschagne having words there. I want to see more of that. How can you be clapping that? It was a squeezed edge. Wasn't a good shot. It wasn't a beautiful drive through the covers. It was off the edge through slips. Robinson's bowling particularly well. No wonder he's in this side. No wonder he's the future replacement of the Broads and the Andersons. He's on the scene now. He's got 6 wickets, 6 games. He's got almost 30 wickets. Bumper of a start. Mark Wood's played 22, having mustered 64 wickets. Mark Wood's injury has always been his issue. He needs to go out and out in the years. He's bowling late 140s into the 150s. Crucial part for Australia and for England. A little bit too full, and Labuschagne just punched it, knowing the GABBA the way he does. You get a lot of value of just punching the ball. Yeah, he got full there. Ben Stokes put a big effort in. Ben Stokes never does things half-heartedly, does he? The shot was more of a punch. Is a punch a good shot? I guess it is. Yeah, there was nothing wrong with the shot. And they're good commentators. I like them. Adam Gilchrist, Michael Hussey, and Alan Border. Very pleasant men. All 3 of them are very, very pleasant. And I've spoken to all 3 of them. Had a chat with them. Gilchrist never get down the lift at the media centre. Had a lunch with Michael Hussey in the men's home dressing room at the SCG, and had lots of chats with Alan Border. Great men, these 3. I rather like that commentary combination. Mark Wood, let's see him smash them. So Warner's attempt to be a bit more aggressive there. Played up and almost reached Ben Stokes. That's all who I was about. Very difficult catch. Didn't reach him. But Root, Burns and Pope and slips. Wood's got Wood's got his measure. He's bowling the right line. He's going to pick up tight. One here. Root, Burns, and Pope. And Corden with Butler's keep. Root, Burns, and Pope. Root's first. Burns is pretty much the second, and Pope's more of a fourth. One for 20 into the ninth over here with Wood bowling some decent heat. And they're bowling around the wicket to Warner and tying him up. And he's played one. Yes, guys, I'm back. I had a bit of a computer malfunction and went nuts, but I'm back. So, no wickets at all. We had Warner play a rather loose shot there, you may have seen. I thought I'd take advantage of the fact that it was a rather weird little scenario there, guys. I'm back on. First 45 minutes of play. Wood got a bit frustrated, you can see there. Played a shot that would probably not have pleased anyone. Oakes is back on. I think Robinson would have been the more damaging of the two. Put it that way. The Richie Benos, I'm sorry, lame. Oh, that was a good delivery. Very good delivery from Oakes. Australia's not exactly flying. They're only training at 127 though, so they're not exactly in danger of a big loss around here. But I certainly need press home disadvantage. I think it's going to be. Well, don't surprise me if they're trying to get 220 on. Why? Because if England bowl well on this wicket, especially in the first few hours, we could see a very a different scenario. I don't know. You would think if these two can hang around till lunch, then we'll have that situation where they'll get a lot of runs. But that's how important these first 2 hours are. That Australia need to make sure they don't lose any wickets and keep their wickets attack and allow the other batsmen to flourish in conditions that will be much more advantageous. That is the time in the middle session of the day where the sun will be belting down this wicket. Should not have all these biscuits. Should I, guys? Shouldn't have all these biscuits. They're both looking fairly circumspect with the way they're batting. They're not going to lose their wickets, that's for sure. Although Warner couldn't help us all last time. Oh, Robertson, Wokes, and Wood are bowling pretty well. They're not giving much away. Nor Australia. By good lengths, we'll have a chance. Ben Stokes could be the interesting factor. There was never a single on that. There was never a single on that. They're only giving what looks like Wood are giving him little short, sharp bursts. Nice and sunny today. Storms predicted later in the day, but great to bat. It certainly is great to bat. Oh, okay, that was a bit of a miss hit. I'm quite down there for a while. I lost. Okay. Yeah, it's a batter's day, no doubt. It's certainly in favour of Australia. There's no doubt. Mark Wood coming to bowl. Warner's got his measures so far, but a bit hopping around. Understandable, the pace is quite ginormous. Well, in India at the moment, it's fast approaching 6 a.m. So you can wake up in the morning there, perhaps watch them listen to a bit of cricket here with Australia now 1 for 20. Having lost Marcus Harris, caught Milan, bowled Ollie Robinson for 3. Mark Wood got some serious pace about him. And Warner was not comfortable there. It's funny, Warner normally loves pace. He's a bit jumpy around Wood. Wood's not slow at all. Doug Rodno, he's hit. Oh, that was a rather nasty. There is a man that's still in, well, relative still limit on. I reckon you could do with him being a couple of yards closer, right under his armpit. That's where I'd have him. Warner's desperately trying to play him through point and above point. I was way too close to him. He's slashing away. He's had two slashes so far that have been unsuccessful. Warner's looks a little bit rusty. I was way too close to his, way close, too close. Well, if he gets a hold of that, there's no one back there. This is my Father Time Lord's Cup. What is it called? The troop, the home cricket. Home cricket. It is. Well, Perth don't get the test. Alan Mullally would not be happy because he's not going to get any test cricket there at all. Warner's gone for a cheeky signal, and it was pretty cheeky. So Warner looks so fit and positive with his trigger movements. Yeah, that's true. Warner gets through the first 20 overs, then look out. That's a fairly good point, but he's struggling a little bit. But he normally hits, if he's in his real century mood, he's banged about 10 fours, or at least 5 fours by now. A lot more circumspect than you might think. It could be more of a grafting innings for him. He's played 2 wild cut shots. He wants one of those. Wood to Labuschagne. Let's give Labuschagne a bit of chin music. Warner's trying to cut. He's rather back. He's sort of going back and a bit jumpy. Like the way Mullis says, no run. He's starting to chirp to get the England team annoyed. Love it. Well, they're chirping both ways, don't they? Where's Mark Wood going? Mark Wood's leaving the field. I'm not happy about this. Where's he going? He ran off, so he can't be injured. Warner's squeezed past the bowler. Maybe 4. It'll be 2, possibly 3. Like the way Marnus is chirping, so was Robinson. It was a positive shot, but it wasn't with great flourish. And I think England are annoyed, but they're ready for the fight. With Stokes, Butler, Robinson, they're all fighters, don't you worry. Chris Wokes. So Warner now on 13, Labuschagne 8, 1 for 24. Yet to see Ben Stokes or Leach come on, but they'll figure at some stage. Ben Stokes will certainly be a bowler to watch when he comes on to bowl. Ben Stokes with the number 55 on his back. Now we've got Warwick. They're bowling good line length. It's very steady. These two guys won't be having any problem with that. I expect his first session to be the tell-all. Once they get through this, we'll only want to wicket down Australia on top. Lokes is a steady bowler. But is he enough for him to make a place? You have to wonder. So Indians are waking up now at 6 in the morning. Labuschagne facing yet another delivery. That was very full and it was there to be hit. He didn't quite time it, but he'll get at least 2. It's as steady as she goes for Australia. Nothing flashed. The conditions are well and truly in their favour. Scoreboard there showing Warner on 13, Labuschagne on 10, 1 for 26 after 12 overs. Not a cloud in the sky. Wood to Warner. He's bowling some good balls. He's tried to cut him a few times. But he's bowling well too. That was a wayward ball that he could have cut. He's trying to cut, but they're just not there. Or he's tucking them up. Warner's been steady for the first hour's play. They're about to go to the first drinks break very shortly. And Ben Stokes has decided to come on. He could be crucial. He could certainly be crucial. He will be aggressive, to say the least. Using their 4th bowler. Here comes Ben Stokes in the bowl. Oh, that was rather tucked him up on the leg stump. Good start, very good start from Ben Stokes. He looks very fit after the issues that he's had. Oh, that ball was right down it's gone for 4. Oh, that was out of length from the line. Off of the catch. It was probably right in the 4th slip spot there. Could easily have been out. Let's have a look where it's gone. It's just gone just out of reach. Would have been right down the throat of a fourth slip. Unfortunately, he can't be as aggressive with their field place. Let's have a look. More closely. No, found the gap. Could easily have been out. Good full toss, as in your calling. There's a lot to be said about Ben Stokes. He's a clever bowler. He's very lucky. Oh, he's out. He's bowled him neck and crop. Ben Stokes has come on and bowled 3 corker of deliveries, one that almost yorked. Well, he's absolutely clean bowled Dave Warner there. Absolutely clean bowling. What is he? Or is it LBW? What are they waiting for? Warner's reviewed it. They seem a little bit unhappy here. What's going on? It's not a no ball, is it? Oh my God. Oh my God. We've just bowled Warner. And neck and crop. And that was a no ball. Oh, that was very, very unlucky for England. Very, very lucky for Australia. Such a good delivery. Oh, wow. Crucify. That deserved a wicket. Yeah, it was clearly over the line, but the ball itself was a corker. Oh boy, that's really unfortunate. Warner can carry lucky stars here. Yeah, so Dave Warner was very lucky there. He basically could easily have been out. He was out. It was just a no ball that stopped that from happening. Very unfortunate. That's a massive moment, really, because Warner out now, that would have changed the ball game somewhat. Warner surviving that, he should go and score big runs, you would think, but that delivery certainly did clean him up. Warner acknowledged it being a good ball. Well, it wasn't a good ball, it was a no ball. Almost the same spot there, and he played a lot more circumspect. Frustrating for Ben Stokes. He bowled really well, and he has to move on from that. That was unfortunate. He had a wicket there for the taking. Didn't quite succeed. Root would not be happy with that. Clearly an important wicket. If he goes and gets runs, that's a pivotal point. This is like World Cup. Underdogs getting worst time of the bat. Yes. Well, do you mean Australia's getting the worst time to bat, or England? England got the worst time to bat. Thursday 09, is that what you're saying? Well, there's one thing for sure. You don't bowl a no ball, do you? You're playing elite cricket for your country. Get your foot behind the bloody line. I'm sorry. I like Ben Stokes and I like bowlers that bowl well and try their hardest. But fundamentals of bowling in any format, especially Test cricket, is you put the foot behind the line. Simple. Batsmen, they watch the ball. Same principles. You watch the ball, you put your foot behind the line. Everything else will follow. You won't get wickets if you bowl no balls. You can bowl the best ball in the delivery, which you just did. And you won't get a bloody wicket. And that's very annoying. England are not expected to do well in this innings, but they could start by not bowling no balls, couldn't they? Oh, yes. Is it? Oh, that hasn't carried. What the hell's going on here? That ball from Labuschagne, he's nicked it off Wokes, and it hasn't carried the first slip. England are not having any luck here. They could have seen the back of Labuschagne and Warner. Yeah, no point in taking a half volley, dive forward, and why wouldn't he dive forward? India, Ishan Sharma ball, a bit like that, isn't it? Danuka Sanjaya from Sri Lanka. Oh, England got to keep their head up and keep pursuing because they're getting somewhere. And then Labuschagne plays a half-baked pull shot where there's no one back there and gets an easy 2 or 3 runs after having snicked at the first slip. No great confidence going on with these two. Warner was out neck and crop bowl, but it was a no ball. Labuschagne nicked it quite clearly and didn't carry. And when a ball's coming to you know it's not, make it dive forward, even if it does bounce up against your head. Give it a go. Certainly luck is favouring Australia at the moment, despite having perfect batting conditions, to be honest with you. Very frustrating time frame here. I think we're playing on to 2.5 hour session, so it'll go to 1 o'clock from 9:30 to 12 local time, 1 o'clock here. England, everything that had to go wrong is going wrong, correct. But hold their head up. Another wicket can fall equally as quickly. Don't bowl no balls. Simple. I'm sorry. I fundamentally can't understand why a bowler bowls no ball. He knows he's run up, knows what he's doing. He's bowled a million warm-up deliveries. He's bowling for his country. He's good enough to play for his country. Why is he bowling a no ball? Bowl even half a foot behind the crease. Surely, if you do that, your bowl deliveries can still be excellent and still be very fast. You're not losing that much. But you're going to take a wicket that way rather than bowling a no ball where you don't take any wickets. With technology these days, they can find out very quickly whether no ball's been bowled. Very good delivery. That was very much where Stokes bowled the last over. And trouble Warner, big time. Australia 1 for 34 could easily have been 3 for. In Australia's case, things have gone their way every time. Yesterday, there were some things that went their way that could easily have not gone their way. You know, the first ball that Mitchell Starks bowled, that he bowled Rory Burns, it could have been a no ball. Britton Man, hello. And Mutave Chadra, hi, how are you? Warner will come back. Well, he's scratching around a little bit at the moment. Not his fluent self. Not as easy out there as you think. These bowlers are bowling quite well. Now, Labuschagne's been sticked to first slip, didn't carry, sticked on the ground, played a half-back pull shot. That hasn't been a great form. And Stokes has given him a bit of a what's the word for it? Bit of a taster outside off something. Very frustrating day so far for England. Ben Stokes are buying well. It was a single there, but yeah. They're sneaking through. Did they have the direct flag? Wasn't a bad effort. Ben Stokes, he's got that fight about him, hasn't he? Get like best bowling in batting conditions. Every edge carried. Yeah, every edge carried. The way that Root did that, he saw that it was not coming, and he kind of didn't put dive forward lunge for it. Okay, it might still bounce, but give it a bit of a go. Conditions are perfect for batting, to be honest with you. As an Australian, still got to applaud how good an all-rounder Stokes is. Kiwis would have loved to have him. They certainly would have. Honestly, Ben Stokes is a champion. He's right up there with, well, very close to both of them. And the way he pulled that game off, it was Edgbaston. It was just amazing. Kids are bored there. And there's plenty of room too. 1 for 36 into the 15th over. So Australia can survive these two sessions the way they seem to be at the moment. You could see a bit of a carnage in the second session where the wickets will certainly get easier to play. But at the moment, they could easily have lost these two batters and had Smith in there with the ill-fated Travis Head. And Head wouldn't have lasted long, and then we would have had a bit of a roll on. Then an Alex Carey and Cameron Green would have exposed them a little bit more. But they haven't lost those wickets. They've been lucky. Leach, they just showed Leach. I'm not sure they'll get a Guernsey just yet. England bowls are bowling well. Just haven't had any luck. Ben Stokes, put your foot behind the line, pal. The bowler, great delivery, but your foot's over the line. His foot position would make any difference. Warner was out. Can't you still give a person out? Oh, you can't, obviously. I know. Very frustrating indeed. Warner's having some real problems on that leg stump. He's been tapped up quite a bit. He's not in form. There's no doubt that he certainly is not in form. One for 36 with Labuschagne on 14, Warner on 17. Stokes has had 2 overs for none for 7. Well, he had a wicket as well, didn't he? Watching the wicket, Harris, the selectors need to notify Joe Burns and put him in the side, not Marcus Harris. I don't think Joe Burns has done enough to be worried about. Usman Khawaja, he should be in the side. And that was a good ball that came back. And Ollie Robinson has probably deliberately made that jag back because all Labuschagne is doing is letting the ball go. Yeah, it was distinctly coming back. Pity it didn't get a bit lower. Too much bounce. Labuschagne, you're batting pretty poorly, mate. You're not batting well at all. Let's not get too hard over the bowling. You're not batting well. Edge 2 to 3 slips. Letting a lot of balls go because he knows his pitch. It's a struggle, that's for sure. I was a bit too leg side. Robinson, that was an easy push from Labuschagne. 1 for 37 into the 16th over. Henry Hunt from South Australia, better than Harris, and when Will is fit, again, he should be at number 5. Will Pekoski. Well, yeah, we'll see. So today's will end at 6:30, won't it, to make up the time. I don't know whether it's necessarily finishing later. It started earlier. I'm not sure about the finishing time. The reality is we know that the finishing time, Robert Muller, is dependent on the weather and dependent on the bad light or on the light. So that effectively those two things won't. They'd be better off starting an hour earlier. And he started half an hour earlier. So I don't know whether it's going to go longer. Depends on the weather. It could well go longer, but if it's raining, it'll be over for the day's play, won't it? Australia 1 for 37 into their 16th over with Ollie Robinson bowling quite well. In fact, he deserved a wicket there earlier on. He deserved his wicket, yes, and Stokes had Warner. It's very frustrating here. Keep going in, or they got a chance. Another edge through slips from Warner, this time more along the ground. Robinson's got his measure. Milan's not having the best of days there in the slips. Well, that's not a confident fall at all from Warner. Again, it was an edge. He made out that he was trying to play the shot. I don't think he wanted to do that at all. But definitely an edge. Could easily been caught had it kept going, or it was a loose bat there. Beaten, neck and crop. Great delivery from Robinson. There's no way that Warner's having a bit of a laugh there at the moment against Robinson. You're laughing because you're getting away with it, guys. That's what's going on. Drinks break has finally occurred at the hour 15-minute mark, so clearly they're going to try and break it up with hour 15. So in that first hour and 15 minutes, Australia survived, losing only the 1 wicket, which could easily have been 3. Well, 1 was out. It was just the no ball that crucified him. The other, well, didn't quite carry. So 1 for 41 in their first hour and a quarter. How many overs have gone here? 10.4 overs, is it right? No, sorry. How many overs have gone here? Let's have a look. $16 overs have gone in that first session, 1 for 41. Labuschagne, scratchy 15. Warner dropped, or pretty close to dropped. Bowled off a no ball. Is there on 21. Mars Labuschagne will probably be chasing his 2000 test runs. He's on 1900 at the moment. Looks like they're having a chat to Joe Root. And he's smiling a little bit, maybe saying a bit of bad luck's gone his way. Yeah, true. It's 16 over. Esmond Wood thrived in these things. Yes, he's become his home ground. He captained the Sheffield Shield Queensland team to a victory last season. He scored multitudes of centuries. He loves playing this pitch. He's 8 test centuries, 44 test matches. Marcus Harris, yet again, no test centuries. This is his 11th, 12th test match. You can't be batting for Australia if you haven't scored a century in 11 or 12 test matches. You need to have scored a century by that stage. I'm afraid you're not good enough if you're not scoring a century in test cricket, not in county or bloody backyard cricket. If you've played 11 to 12 matches for Australia, you should have scored a century if you're an opening batsman, without a shadow of a doubt. On a pitch like this, yes, you should have. So Marcus Harris, if he stuffs around this match, the next match, well, he's got to be replaced. Okay? He's not performing at that level. He's had ample opportunity. They may well consider leaving him in for the 5 tests. Well, he better score some runs because he's now, his time's ticking. Usman Khawaja has scored 8 test centuries and a number of them this season. So is Harris and County or whatever. Fine, that's a while ago now. He's not doing it when he needs to. And in the case of Warner, he's had a mixed bag. He did okay towards the end of the World Cup, yes. But in terms of this format, he hasn't. That was Harris dismissal. Labuschagne hit several balls through the slips. Hit one pretty good drive. Warner's almost caught there. He's had 2 catches, bowled neck and crop. So his 2 balls have almost gone to hand. He's been bowled neck and crop off a no ball, unfortunately. Renshaw is a good opener. They could slot him into. Yeah, Matthew Renshaw didn't do anything wrong at test level. Again, I would agree with that. Renshaw, Usman Khawaja should be considered for this side. Head and Harris, I would say. I would have Harris's head and the head of Harris. Something like that. All right, Robert. Harris always looks likely to nick off. He does, and he's proven that. He's played 11 or 12 test matches and has not got 100. I repeat, a man selected to be the opening batter for Australia and has not scored a century in 11, 12 matches, and if he doesn't do this in this one or the next one, that's enough. It's enough. George Bailey was pretty confident about him. Yes. Okay. We'll produce. This is perfect conditions to produce. Perfect conditions to produce. They're bowling well, but the sun's shining. It's a fast deck, fast outfield. Play the ball truly. You should be getting runs. Warner's struggling. Yes. But it is indicative of yesterday's pitch. England suffered on a very overcast day. They would have done a lot better today. Labuschagne's been scratching around too. They've got a few runs between them, but they are scratching around. So I'm going to be on for another hour and 8 minutes or thereabouts, and then I'll stop the lunch break. So stick around, guys. We'll be talking more about this match. Robinson's been very impressive. Ollie Robinson's been very impressive indeed. Oakes has been steady without being too dramatic. Wood was fast but didn't penetrate. And the one that's impressed me in the short term was Ben Stokes, despite having bowled a no ball. Is Langer still on the selection committee? Well, Langer's going to influence the selection of Usman Khawaja, no doubt. He is, I'm just trying to work out, I think he's on the final selection committee when they have the squad, yes. And that should have been answered. What happened there? Was he too deep? They will give him the second test in Adelaide. If not, Usman will be coming back Boxing Day. Good. Ben Stokes is bowling over 130, but he's bowling cleverly, not bowling fast. 1 for 41 here into the 17th over. Warner 21, Labuschagne 15. Warner dropped 2 chances in the 30 was bowled on no ball. Labuschagne has nicked quite a few and has scratched his way to his runs. They're not impressing me at all. They both haven't had much of a chance to bat, let's be honest. It's almost like their all plates are back on. Ben Stokes is putting in the right area, so he got Warner well and truly bowled well. That's frustrating. Now in India is waking up. It's 6:30 in the morning, roughly there. Completely out bowled. And Ben Stokes was well over. Wasn't even a question. The Richie Benos, there's something very annoying about that. I'm really over it. I'm going to say it again and again. Richie Benos, would you finish up? Find something more current. Not that Richie Benos is not current. He's a great player, great commentator. But no, I think they need to move on. The one thing doesn't go. I can bring it back every single, but not every single. It's just, I don't know. I don't think it's as big a deal. It's rather annoying. I'd look a bit dicky if you ask me. Yeah, he's well over. Would have had the same effect if he put his foot back off foot. He would have got him out. Not the case now. It was rather short. Ben Stokes' presence is intimidating, isn't it? Very much intimidating. That was a good video of Jeff Marsh's interview. Which Jeff Marsh? I mean, Jeff as in GEOFF, the father of Mitchell Marsh and Sean Marsh. That are you talking about? Or Rod Marsh? It was good to first as the truth, but that's it. Robert Mullen, 89. What are you talking about with Jeff Marsh? Explain to me. What are we talking about, Jeff? Rod Marsh or Jeff as in GEOFF? That's the father of Sean and Mitchell. Is that what are you talking about? Ollie Robinson's got the measure of, I'd argue, these players, but he's just not having any luck. Look, if Australia can struggle through the first session, yeah, Jeff the bowler, he was in the car. Jeff the bowler, Jeff Marsh was an opening batsman. Was in a car, okay. Ollie Robinson certainly has impressed me today. He's been particularly sound. He's got 1 for 15 off now, and he's 6th over. Warner's on 21 and Labuschagne on 15. 1 for 42 was the score into the 18th over. So another hour's play. These two survive, then they should make hay. Let's see. Certainly, I'm not giving Warner any room, whether it's off or leg side. Nothing short, nothing with room. A couple of Woodgate that were rooming, he slashed that, but he was nowhere near it. He's accurate and nips it both ways. He does. Ollie Robinson's fantastic. Of course, Wokes has been very sound as well. You can't help but think that Broad would have had Warner for breakfast had he played. What a great delivery. Ollie Robinson, magnificent delivery straight through Warner. Warner's nowhere near in form. Oh, ball was too good. The ball was just actually too good. It wasn't, and Warner was not good enough to get the edge. Perfect. Oh, beautiful delivery. A fair bit of anguish going here. Warner's played a miss. Harris played a miss quite a bit too. Barmy Army, you can see young kids there. A lot of English are going Barmy Army. They're the ones that are locals. None of them from over in England have come here, which is amazing. Jeff Thompson, you mean? Not Jeff Marsh. Okay. You mean, okay, the one that I interviewed in the car. Okay, now I get it. Now I get it, Ronald. Now the one that I interviewed in the car. Yeah, we had a great interview. I've also interviewed him a few times, actually. Gotta love the Barmy Army. They bring a fantastic atmosphere. They certainly do. It's almost midday in Sydney. It's 11 a.m. in Brisbane. So Warner's desperately get off strike. I mean, Hamid also the first session yesterday and did very well under some very, very trying conditions. Kathy Long, not sure who she is, but sorry, I don't get too impressed with listening to her talk. Talking about the sun. Yeah, we know the sun there. Anyone can talk about the sun. A belter of a day in Queensland. 18 overs gone, 142. This is where Australia are laughing. They're only chasing 147. They're only 105 runs behind England at this early stage. And they lost 1 wicket based on some bad luck. They could easily lost 3. Bad luck in terms of England. England, I think about that. Mark Wood's been steady, but he hasn't belted the door down just yet. He's bowling with great pace, though. Close to 150 every single delivery is a lot. So Indians are waking up at 6:30 in the morning, isn't it? Very full ball. Kath does for Fox Footy as well as she hosts Saturday Stretch. Saturday Stretch. Never heard of Saturday Stretch. She does footy. Okay. A lot of cricketing commentators on Triple M, a station here. Well, it's in Australia as well as Sydney. Both Gus Warland and Dan Kinane. Dan Kinane's a rugby league caller, and he does a pretty admirable job. And Gus Warland's just a mug punter who's pretty good though, but they're not. Yeah, anyway. Good delivery from, oh, Jesus. That hooped everywhere, and Labuschagne had no idea that really did beat him neck and crop. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, that certainly did come in and go away. It was a very good delivery. The hoops well late as well. Dan's a nice guy. They're not. I'm not saying they're not nice guys at all. Dan Kinane is a very lovely bloke. So is Gus Warland. I'm not knocking either of those guys. Please don't get me wrong. But they're not normal cricket commentators, are they? Not renowned for it. Mark Wood's bowling well, but he's got to really blast them now. He's going to be a full seaming Yorker, as did Stark, and rip a stump out. That's what he's got to do. That's what he's got to try and do now. One for 42 after some 18.3 overs into the 19th over. Warner's on 21, half the score, and Labuschagne on 15. Of course, Marcus Harris was caught at third slip by Milan off Ollie Robinson for 3. He keeps failing. He shouldn't be in the side. He hasn't scored a century after 11/12 tests. Not right. So is Matthew Hayden. He's still in Kingaroy. Well, he's a lovely guy. He's got a Brisbane base as well, right? I'm pretty sure. Kingaroy's his home. Correct. Jeff Thompson will be floating around the GABBA. Probably involves a couple of boxes, I'd say. Gus does brilliant work, mental health. He's certainly a smudge, and yeah, I know, Norman. I just found your channel, and you're a good bloke. Thank you. Gus Warland is certainly, a bit like me in a way. I love helping cricket, especially women's cricket. I manage some United Extra Time, and I actually manage some 20 female cricketers around the world. Sri Lankans, UAE, Malaysia, South Africa, partly, as well as Bangladesh. I've got Chanishul Shamona here playing for Bankstown at the moment. Rebecca Van Dort and Puni Hunsaker in Melbourne playing for Carlton. Shapali Wirukoti, Nalakshi Desor, who's the current player playing for Sri Lanka. They both play for the Sydney club. So Ramana Ahmed, Chanishul Shamona earlier did as well. I'm looking at getting Shamli Simaratna from UAE out shortly. Shabam Ismail's been here playing for the WBL. Very full ball, and looks like Labuschagne had no idea what was going on. So it was 151. It was not slow. We've got a discussion here. It looks like, is that Shane Warne with some funny looking shorts? Talking about the bowling, talking about what I'd say Warner, and obviously talking about how close the ball is to his bat, or close to his body, I should say, giving him little room to cut. Shane Warner's coming in the middle. He looks, shoes are a bit white, a bit sort of Gold Coast like his shoes, I'm afraid. Tips of blonde hair and the tips of the white shoes, but a bit Gold Coast like. Robinson's bowled really well without luck. Haven't used Leach yet, and he shouldn't be. They've basically got 4 bowlers there. Wokes, Stokes, Wood, and Robinson. $3.23. All right, here we have Warner facing Robinson. It's wicket time. I think it's wicket time, to be honest. They're tucking Warner right up on his leg stump there, not giving him any room at all. Looking at his footwork quite a bit there. Warner's faced a lot of balls for his 21. Asked Andrew Simon 3 years ago what he thought of the likes of Warner and Harris opening, and he didn't like the idea of them opening, and I kind of agree. I know Andrew Simons and Shane haven't got much of an opinion of Labuschagne either, by the way. So this commentary box, we've got Mark Coward, who has his podcast, does all sports. Shane Warne, a lot of respect for him. Mark Waugh, despite being meek and mild in his appearance, is an arrogant piece of, I won't say. Brother Steve's fantastic. Steve's fantastic. Most admirable player we've ever met. Steve Waugh, Alan Border, great coach, captains, great captains. Steve Waugh and Alan Border, 2 of my favourites. They were two of the best captains Australia ever had, other than a Richie Beno or a Bradman and even Neil Harvey. Well, that's Warner's first true confident cover drive all day of Robinson. It's taken a long time to get to this point, into the 20th over, which is whether Warner's deliberately, he's a bit out of form. You can't deny that. Do you feel they will bowl wide if Smith gets away and extremely straight first up? Well, Smith, you've got to just bowl well, and that means close to the stumps. So to bowl wide, they might frustrate him doing that, but he's too good at bat to give too many chances to. It was Warner's first confident shot. Played a drive here and there, but that was his signature cover drive, which he normally hits in the first few overs of his batting. It's taken him 20 to get to that point. Robinson giving him no room, which is the idea. You give Warner room, he'll play it. Yeah, we've just gone 2 hours in the broadcast. We're going to about another 51 minutes of this session, and then I'll give it a break and we'll come back after the day's play. So do subscribe if you're there now. Anyone who's new to the channel, United Extra Time and the like, please subscribe or then share it with others to subscribe. Normally we don't go blow by blow. We have interviews with a lot of guests on this, but a lot of the English are not awake. A lot of the England, it's like early, very, very early in the morning in England. They're not as keen as what we are, obviously. Do you feel that the longer Dave spends out there, hopefully just plays himself into form, and that's probably what will happen. Great t-shirt of bashing his hat there. Warner Grasser cricketer. This is quite funny. So 1 for 46, 20.1 overs. We have Mark Wood on song here. He's bowled okay without being great. Robinson was by far the best bowler so far today. Ben Stokes was always impressive. Roach was steady without being too over the top. And Wood's the one that's disappointed me a touch. Despite bowling great pace, he's not blasting the stumps out of the ground, which he needs to do. He's starting to get a bit shorter with his length. Labuschagne's scratchy to say the least. In India, it's now 7:41, isn't it? No, it's 6:41. Extremely early in the morning. But we're into the 20th over of a test match. Oh, I hate that. This crossbat attempted leave is just annoys me. I would be annoyed as a bowler, actually. You have to watch this in conjunction with this broadcast. This is me talking, unlike a podcast of the match being played, where you're now watching Mark Wood come in the bowl. Labuschagne lets yet another ball go. 1 for 46 off 20.4 overs. Look, Australia doing the job. They survived the next 40-odd minutes to lunch with 1 wicket down. They're in a commanding position, despite not really forging ahead as you would normally expect them to do. Labuschagne is not getting out. He's playing some scratchy batting, but he's surviving, which is where he could make hay in the next break. And he knows he's GABBA. He knows to let that balls go because they're going to go over the stumps. And it's true what United Extra Time saying, as long as that's more likely to be batting than before. It's true. Same goes with Labuschagne. Pat covers in a perfect day yesterday. The batters are now trying to make up for it, but it's just not quite there. Oh, this leaving style. Oh, I hate it. Absolutely hate it. All deliveries he's done. Anyway, I don't get it. Beehive of Marslows and bowling, all of them. Some good bowling, really. Some good steady bowling. A small little break here. $190, $218. Steve Smith next to Pat Cummins. He got what he thought was some extra width, and he went for it and got a massive inside edge and could easily bowl him. Warner's not in form. He's on 26 though, but he's not in form. He survived what is getting close to 2 hours here. He's got about 44 minutes to go before the lunch break. It looks as though Warner's waiting for this ball to really clobber, and he's getting on, which is half a chance he tries it. And because he's not in form, he's edging it or mistiming it. Oh, he's got a short ball there from Stokes, and it was pulled, but it didn't carry. It didn't get through either. The short, fine leg, or leg gully almost. Oh, Jesus. Just bounced in front. That's obviously a plan. Could easily have got Labuschagne then. Labuschagne's been... That was obviously a plan too. Then he got a much shorter ball and it was too easy. He had the practice ball before and Labuschagne's hit. He shouldn't bowl 2 in a row like that. You've given the batsman the feeling of what he was about to get. So that was not smooth. There's the 50 up for Australia. 1 for 50 into the 22nd over. Labuschagne 18 and Warner on 26 with Harris out for 3. With then 3 sundries. Australia 1 for 50. Certainly didn't look like it. They were 2 wickets down. These 2 batsmen have been out almost all. So we know that Warner certainly was bowled neck and crop, but it was a no ball. And Labuschagne's toyed around with some edges and close calls. Definitely a plan to bowl into his ribs, whether it's outside off, bowling around the wicket or over the wicket. No room at all to Warner. The tightening right up. Good delivery. Tucked up his ribs. It's very good delivery from Ben Stokes. He's clobbering a bit. Good fielding. England's fielding. Leach did a pretty good job there. They're tight. What we're seeing here is an over so far where Warner hasn't been able to penetrate the field. So the next delivery or two, that was almost a no ball there. You may see Warner play a rash shot and get out, or lift the ball and get caught. I think that's where we're heading here. And I've got a feeling that the next 2 or 3 balls, in fact, there's only 1 ball left in this over from Stokes. This could be the ball that might see Warner get frustrated, wanting to hit the ball out of the ground or close to it. Let's have a look. No, he's played it very conservatively and he's controlled his frustrations there. Certainly has copped it in the ribs. Wasn't that fast, but it was very, very effectively short. There's a tennis ball bounce, a bit pluggy. Just tickle it down there to fine length. There's Labuschagne. Comes off his pad, it looks like. No run to his score. Scored in addition to his run tally. 131, 184, that's 315. Water now to face Wood. Wood should give him a nice old short ball. See what he does with it. Now, he did play it into a gap, but there was a man in close. It could easily have popped, but didn't. We're taking 2. Well, that was played over the man in close, but it wasn't confidently played at all. In fact, he barely got it over. He could easily have popped it straight to him. There was no great confidence in that shot. Warner struggling with that ball around his hips. Wood squeezed that to gully and he's got himself a run. He's inking out runs here. He's on 29. He's batted for just on 2 hours with about a bit over half an hour to go before the lunch break, which if these two survive, they've done exceptionally well. Archer certainly does. Oh, Jesus, that was they're showing replays of Archer hitting Labuschagne in the head. That would have been a nasty hit. Very scratchy looking. They're into the 23rd over here, and they've got 54 runs. So they've. Yeah, Archer would have been fantastic on the ground like this. They're probably missing. $131 and 184 is 315. So Labuschagne's got the ball away. They're starting to get a bit of a groove on here. Things are starting to settle down wicket-wise. Bowlers are starting to tire a little bit. And these two are going to start to have more luck with their play. And we may see them start to open up a little bit more. Not forgetting England only got 147. They're already 150. And they're only 90 runs behind already. And in the second session, you would think they're going to knock that off. Having had a lot of luck, Australia, with their batting so far. It'll last a little bit longer. We'll see how we go, and then I'll have a break and come back later. December 9th. Australian summer is well and surely here. England are 11 hours behind, so they're effectively 1:24 in the morning if they're watching. And in India, we're fast approaching 7 a.m. So 1:24 a.m. in the morning in England, and some 7 a.m., almost 7 a.m. in the morning in India. Australia, it's middle of the day, 12:24. That's just past lunchtime, past midday. Stokes is coming on. There's some new high-rise apartments within view of the ground and may have a view of the ground itself. Ben Stokes had Warner out bowled for no ball. Labuschagne's now getting a full ball and just punched it through the covers. Warner's on 29, Labuschagne's on 24. Their partnership is, I would argue, probably close to, let's have a look here, it's probably close to 50-run partnership now. The first wicket fall, first wicket fell at result 10. So they're actually just hit their, they just hit their 50 partnership, these opening, this first drop pair. Watching Ashes with Hooker. What's that? Warner's just played the ball through what looked like the covers. No, it was actually, yeah, it was through the covers. You're starting to free up these two now. There was 3 to Warner. Ishigawa's with Brett Lee and Kerry O'Keefe. That's quite a trio. Hooker. Is that like a hashish? It's very famous in Haranian. Okay. 1 for 63. Warner's on 32 now. Labuschagne on 24. Partnerships 53 and starting to solidify. And there's a lot more full balls going through from Stokes, and Labuschagne's now seeing a bit of form here. He's going to get 4 runs, it looks like, so he goes by the boundary. He's on 28 now. Scores moved on to 67, and England are now only 80 runs, sorry, Australia only 80 runs behind the England total. With only 1 wicket down. England, however, what were they? They were, I think they were, and they were on 60, they were a lot more wickets down, I think. They were actually 5 for 60. They were 5 for 60, whereas Australia are 1 for 67. Australia could easily have been 3 down, though. Yeah, I think I would agree, Terence Aldrin. I think they're slightly deep in the slips. 5-0 now. It won't be 5-0. I'm certain it won't be 5-0. When Anderson and Broad come back and the wickets suit the bowling, it'll be a lot more closer. Oh, there's no. The ball certainly beat Labuschagne. At least wasn't no ball. Good ball. Very close to the edge. England's got a bit of luck. What is the weather forecast? Well, today they're expecting rain late, but there'll be 2 sessions at least of this clear skies. Warner 32, Labuschagne 29, 1 for 68 into the 24th over. What is the weather? As I said, the weather forecast have told you about that. So. Stokes is starting to get picked off a little bit more now. Now we've gone 2 hours of play. Australia 1 for 68. Half an hour left in terms of time. Warner's on 32. They've chipped away. Had a few close shaves, a few wickets that should have fallen. They didn't happen. All right.
VOT, FYI. What's VOT? Match timing was 5:30 AUST. Today I woke up at 5 o'clock, but the match was already started. Yeah, it actually started half an hour earlier today. So it would have been 5 a.m. your time. It's now 7 a.m. your time. There's a small break there. There's still half an hour to go. So Jack Leach gets his first opportunity to play today. With some 28 minutes to spare. He's had 17 test matches. He's got 62 wickets, which is pretty recent. Conrad 3 is also 30 years of age. Bowling to two batsmen that you would argue is set very good. Sunny here in Brisbane at the creek. Yep, it's looking good. Well, it looked good for England there for a while, but unfortunately they didn't take the wickets. Leach's first over. And Labuschagne immediately looks to be aggressive. Quick single there. I'm assuming Warner will become aggressive. Stark's first delivery was amazing. Correct. Let's have a look at Warner. What he does is on 32, 26 minutes before the break, he could start to play heavy on Leach. He could become very aggressive. His partnership is 59 now. Was that a catch? Was that a catch? Don't think so. Warner looks very impatient. He's either going to get a series of sixes here or he could get himself out. That's an overdone. 159, Warner's on 32, Labuschagne's on 30. 69 after. Certainly looking good. Needs to bowl with a box on when it gets warning. I agree. Labuschagne 30, Warner 32. These guys have scratched their way. But about 953 runs between them in their batting partnerships. So it's 7:06 in the morning there in India. It's 1:36 a.m. in the morning in England. I may have watched a bit of it, but they probably are falling asleep by now. Everything's not in England time frames, let's be honest. Ollie Robinson deserved a few wickets. That had been Stokes. Frustrating morning for England. Australia 1 for 69. They were scratching away and survived. Certainly not convincingly. So Australia 1 for 70 after 20. They're in the into the 26th over here. Chris Wokes bowling. We're not taking a wicket just yet. Warner's still being tucked up. Now Anderson O'Brien, that's right. That's Joe Broad would have had Warner, I reckon. They've been as much, but he's not there. Got some 22 minutes to go before the lunch break. We've been well over 2 hours of play already. And England have been very frustrated with Ben Stokes taking Warner's wicket off the no ball. Some catches which went very close to being caught. Some scratchy runs through the slips. A handful of good shots, but not many. That was quite some delivery works bowling right off. So it just reared up. Both are injured. Well, Anderson's slightly injured. Broad's not injured. They're too old. They're trying to keep them for the right matches. And it looks like the second, third, and fourth test would be the right matches. That absolutely steep bounce. Wow. Works is pretty good. The first ball was a little bit wider and he was able to nudge it off his pads. These batsmen are both in the 30s now. 1 for 71. Partnership of 61. Starting to push for a big score. His turn. That ball certainly took off. Labuschagne 31, Warner 33. Wokes coming on to bowl his last delivery of the 26th over. No run. 26 overs, 71 runs. So it's steady but not a tremble. I don't think England were all out after 50.1 overs. Australia are only one down after 26. So they're ahead on all counts. I think it's 77 or thereabouts runs to get to equal. And 76 runs, almost halfway. Yeah, always halfway. Better than the Brisbane River. A little bit boring, the Brisbane River, I must say. Not much going on there. Looks pleasant enough, but the usual rate of storms that it's had and floods. Warner's just taken Leach over the top. It looks like it's going to be 6. Warner's waited his turn. He's picked his moment. He's just gone and clobbered him. So he's decided to put the foot down a bit now, and here we go. 39. Warner seems to be determined to be here for a while. He was out bowled though. Off a no ball. It's right in the slot. Well, they've scored 77. They've got 70 to go before they knock off the England score. And they're well on their way to doing it. He's gone again. This time it looks like another 6. It is. With consummate ease, he's just belting out of the ground. Warner's decided it's time to go a little bit aerial. And he's now, I thought 45, not 44. He's clobbered that. Not good signs for England. Now that Warner's got through that stage, he's 44. I thought he was 45 anyway. First of all, no one back there, and it cleared the boundary by a few rows, 4 or 5 rows. Not looking good. All right, guys, we might stop there. I think we're pretty much had a good session there. We're looking at Warner getting ahead now. He's certainly Warner's now 45. One to 84, is it? We're not changing the scoreboard too quick. I'm not sure what they're doing on the scoreboard. One for 84. Warner's on 45. Labuschagne on 31 after the last ball, the 27th over. Looking pretty much like Australia's going to lead on the first innings. They're now, 63 runs behind. They've only lost 1 wicket. Labuschagne has smacked that through the covers and gotten 4. So Leach after 12, this is none for 18. 88 the score. 59 to knock off this score. 27. Labuschagne 35, Warner 45. They're starting to motor ahead. They've got a partnership running here of 78. All things going well. Leach for 2 6s and a 4 and not over. There's 14 minutes before lunch break. Warner's, is certainly murdering now. Warner would probably be very happy with a 50 before lunch. Not forgetting that David Warner was actually bowled neck and crop by Ben Stokes, only for it to be called a no ball. Warner's bowling with great deal of control, I must give him that. He's not playing. He had a couple of big fours off and sixes off Leach, but they were pretty ordinary deliveries, to be honest. England bowled reasonably well without much luck. But Broad would have made sure the luck would have come his way, and Anderson probably too. So they're missing two of their absolute strike bowlers who've done well for decades, or for more than a decade. So 1 for 88 into the 28th over. Warner is 45, Labuschagne 35. Works is bowling in his 8th over. The game is certainly tilted towards Australia. Australia only need another 59 runs to knock off the England score and have 9 wickets in hand. So you could easily deal with these two guys at the crease, and that would see a monumental effort from England to get back into this game, and would see, well, they kept very low. In fact, it's basically rolled. Something has hit something and gone on the ground. And there's I guess, buys. The score goes to 92. Kept extremely low. Pretty sloppy keeping though. I didn't exactly, wasn't that yeah, time to cover it. 92. A bit of pace beyond that because Butler didn't expect it. 11 minutes to lunch. 92 to score. Butler having in the horrors there that over. The ball kept very low. That one bounced and swung away a little bit, and did a drop on it. A bit sloppy there from Butler, really. Yeah, overcompensated, was too high. And Warner's certainly swayed at that one and could easily have been out. Yeah, Wokes is holding his head. He's probably thinking, we're not getting any luck here. And he's right. It was a very wayward shot from Warner, but a bit cavalier. Probably thinks because he's been getting away with it, he can keep getting away with it. Yeah, 10 minutes before lunch. Ooh. Labuschagne played a rather bar now looking shot, I would argue. I've got a few here. Yeah, we've had one for 95 Australia. Labuschagne on 38, Warner on 45. Leach coming in to get more treatment, probably. Warner wants a piece of him. One weighs at 3.35 now. It's picking up nicely. 50 runs in the last 10 overs. Yep. Warner, Martin's just waiting for the wide stuff from Leach. Yep. Why wouldn't you? Well, he's played a bit of a tickle around the back there, like a kind of scoop sweep type of shot. I'm not sure what you would call it. 96. 86 run partnership now into the 29th over. Leach has been fairly useless so far, or not useful. Labuschagne's even going over the top now. It looks like he might have got himself a 6. He has. 1 for 102. This partnership is 92 now. Leach is becoming very ineffective. Labuschagne's 44. Warner's 46. Into the 29th over here, they're cruising. Tried to slap that through straight past the bowler. Didn't quite work. What is the current time in Australia? The current time in Australia is 6 minutes to 1 p.m. England should have played Board instead of Leach. Totally agree. Labuschagne scored 3 off that last shot. 105. They're only 42 runs behind them. So. Yeah, so we've got a score here of it's a pretty commanding lead. His injury, I mean, bat first, knowing about rain, Stokes a bit ginger, a little bit. Was he really injured though? I don't think he was injured. That wasn't the problem. Well, Stokes was. He looked a bit ginger otherwise. What he's starting to show up a bit of a sign there. Not good. You don't want Stokes to be injured. I'll tell you that much. 1 for 105 after 29 overs. He's feeling something there in his leg. Is it a hamstring or what is it? You don't want Stokes injured at all. Labuschagne seems to be ready to go. He's just hit 4. He's just breached 50 ahead of Warner. 109 the score. Now they're making hay. 1 for 109 after 29.1 overs. This is 4 minutes from the lunch break. Labuschagne's 50. I'm going to assume Warner will get 50 as well. Yeah, Mars has been pretty classy. But Martin and United extra time, yeah, Mars has been pretty good. I think he was a bit scratchy early on, but he survived that. effectively beaten Warner to the 50. 109. With only some 3-4 minutes to go before lunch. Into the 30th over, so. Getting ready for lunch here too, by the way, as you can hear the sound in the background. So the lunch will be on 1 o'clock, and I'll actually go for the lunch break, and I'll be back at the end of the day. A single there for Warner. Here's an opportunity to take the strike on hopefully 3 balls and being getting 50. That could be that getting close to stumps. 1 for 110. This partnership is now 100 partnership between Warner and Labuschagne. They're both batted together now. They've got 100 run partnership. Winstake certainly is hobbling there a little bit. $110 into the 30th over. Labuschagne 52 and Warner is 46. This 100-run partnership is getting a pretty good time. This is Wokes' 9th over, none for 23. He's been steady, but without doing anything too remarkable. So Ben Stokes will go by these 4,636 test runs. He'll go past 5,164. And the bowling department will go past 200. 5,000 plus runs, 200 plus wickets is a pretty good effort. Getting close to both of mine. You'd want to see Warner get his 50. He's got 2 minutes to go in this over and may see another over. That's over. Warner's not too bothered by not getting his 50 before the lunch break. He's got perhaps 1 over left. Perhaps 1 over left as well. Yeah, it's hello, Varun Marvis, Australia, a 1 for 110, as far as I'm aware, with Marnus Labuschagne getting a 50, Warner on 46, not far from his 50. His partnership is 100. Certainly impressive. I had some scratchy moments. Warner was out bowled off Ben Stokes, but it happened to be a no ball. 2 catches go close to the ground off the batting of Labuschagne, but haven't quite got there. So 1 for 110 after 30 overs. We've got 1 more over left, I'll say. Labuschagne to face with Wood coming into bowl last over. Stokes being a bit gingerly as well. Hi, Gaming at Torringer, how are you? So guys, this will be the last over, and I will have a break after this, and we've spent a good 2.5 hours, getting close to 3 now. You do want to see the bowling's been shared. Oakes is at 9 overs, Robinson 7. This is the 7th over of Wood. Stokes is at 5, Leach is at 3. So bowling's been pretty well shared. Now, Labuschagne, don't hold it. Get off strike and give Warner a chance to score his 50 before the lunch break. That's what I would like to see happen. Nanda, Kishore, Kurabal, you woken up. Going with Torringer, you woken up. Doreen, Marvey, you've all woken up. It's 1 o'clock, so it's effectively 7:30 in the morning. It's not 8. It was 7:30 in the morning. Australia's 1 o'clock in Brisbane. It's 12. Looks like they're showing up shop here. Yeah, another 50 for Marinus, exactly. Aussie on the rampage. And I wouldn't say it was rampaging. Very, 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 very commendably solid. So we got 131, 315, 440, 440. Okay, we're taking a single here. Warner's got 2 balls to get his 50. I'm sure I'd like to do it. Yeah, just past 7:30, just past 1 o'clock in the afternoon here in Sydney, midday in Brisbane. We're about to go to lunch. So 36 runs arrears of the England total, and they lost 1 wicket. 101 run partnership. Ooh, that was a pretty good ball to get. Second last ball before the end of the day's play. Last time. Warner hasn't been exactly on top. It was a good ball. It actually swung away at the last minute. It was fast, Warner just said. Last ball before lunch. He played away from that. I'll get probably 2. You get 3. Well, no, 2. It's just, I think they've got a good. They've got 2. Warner's on 48. So at lunch, Australia 1 for 113. One for 113 at lunch. Till 2:59. So it's not full working, not clearly Australia. Yeah. And then you're at 17, that's right. So 1 for 113. Australia up. Just give me a sec, guys. Let's just do something a bit crazy here. There we are. So I'm back here again. Sorry, guys. It's something a bit crazy then. Just took off that. So 1 for 113 Australia at lunch after 31 overs. Warner not at 48. Labuschagne not at 53. 103 run partnership. There are only some 34 runs behind England. All right, guys. I'm going to see you after the break. We'll see you later today. In fact, the post review. So all the best. Don't forget to view, like, and share the post. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification button. Norm Koch is my Twitter and my Instagram. And obviously Norman Koch is both Facebook and LinkedIn. So see you after the match. Okay, after the day's play at least. So we're now 1 for 113, as I said. All the best.